Welcome to the latest episode of the B Movie Club. I'm your host Kevin. This week we'll be discussing the 2003 comedy classic, Scary Movie 3, starring Charlie Sheen, Anna Faris. It's an all-star cast. Leslie Nielsen. For those of you joining us for the first time, each week on the B Movie Club I'll discuss certain guilty pleasures and forgotten classics of the past. You can go to our page on Facebook, Original B Movie Club, and give us a big thumbs up. You can also go to our page on YouTube, Kevin D, that's me, and subscribe. It's totally free. And if you're on Twitter, you can tweet me and follow me at the B Movie Club. Don't forget to spread the word and tell your friends, won't you? Scary Movie 3. In this wildly convoluted plot, you've got, essentially, it's easier for me to describe it this way. They took the plots of Signs, you know, that M. Night Shyamalan movie about the aliens and the crop circles, took that, and The Ring, you know, the movie about the killer videotape, 8 Mile, the movie about Eminem's life as a rapper in Detroit, you know, I'm not joking, and The Matrix. Okay, that movie, the science fiction movie about people being like plugged into a machine and what they think is reality is just not, I guess. Okay, they squished all those things together and squished them, and that is Scary Movie 3. Okay, there are crop circles appearing up in this guy Tom's farm. He's a former preacher who lost his faith after a car accident. His wife was killed. I know, barrel of laughs. Also happening is there's this killer videotape on the loose. Cindy Campbell, who works for the local news network, her her nephew is like, watch the video and having visions of, you know, the evil little dark-haired girl coming out of the well. So there's all these things. Is there a connection? There could be. Tom's brother wants to be a rapper, and the problem is he's not very good at it, but he's going to like these rap showdowns, trying to show his craft, if you will. That doesn't work out all that well, so I'm having difficulty kind of knitting it all together, okay? There's a killer video. People are watching it. It's very upsetting, as you might imagine. All killer videos are. It really kind of dates the movie because I don't think they even make VHS tapes anymore. Hey, who would have thought? Should be a killer DVD or Blu-ray, I guess, nowadays. And, of course, there's the crop circles that are telling us that there's aliens that might be popping. People are seeing aliens in the cornfields. And this is kind of another confusing thing. Tom is a former preacher, but he has a farm with cornfields all around him. They don't say he's a farmer, I guess. I guess he's a farmer preacher. Could be. Hey. And meanwhile, his brother's not helping out because he wants to be a new rapper. It's very upsetting. So it's all convoluted. You've got Charlie Sheen is the defrocked preacher. Simon Rex plays his brother who wants to be the rapper. Cindy Campbell is played by Anna Faris. Leslie Nielsen appears as the president. Why the president is involved in this, nobody knows. He's very concerned about, you know, all the crop circles. He's very concerned about the killer videotape. So he's getting involved as well. It all, you know, it's all tied together, okay? Sorry, I'm having difficulty explaining it because it really isn't much of a linear plot. This is obviously a spoof movie, a parody film, if you will, where the plot is kind of loosely tied together because it's more important to tie these kind of jokey scenes together. So what are you going to do? But, okay, The Ring was a big movie at that time. It was very scary. People thought, this is terrifying. And Signs had come out to mixed reviews, like many of M. Night's work since The Sixth Sense. Okay, fine. It's a scary movie. We want to tie those things together. We're going to make fun of those movies. Where did 8 Mile come from? Suddenly they also are tying in 8 Mile and The Matrix Reloaded, which came out a few years prior to this. It's all tied together. I can't explain it. As you may know, the original scary movies, the first one came out in the 90s, and it was supposed to be a takeoff, as you might imagine, of the Scream movies. Originally written, directed, produced by the Wayans brothers. Specifically, Marlon Wayans and Sean Wayans were in it, directed by Keenen Ivory Wayans. So it had kind of a In Living Color kind of feel to it because the cast and the writing was all kind of based on those things. These movies are awful. Scary Movie 1, Scary Movie 2, not funny movies, okay? And I like Don't Be a Menace to South Central While Drinking Your Juice in the Hood. I like that movie. These other movies, not my cup of tea. Really much more crass than clever, if you will. Not that Scary Movie 3 is high art, but there was a difference. So after they made their first 2 scary movies, they left the project. I'm not sure if they were given the boot, or if they decided to just do other projects. It's hard to say. I know the first Scary Movie did well. Second Scary Movie, not so much. I watched it recently for the first time. Also, not a great movie. But the studio still wanted to keep making scary movies. So they went back to the original kind of parody movie creators, if you will. The guys who did Airplane, Naked Gun, and Hot Shots. They went and brought those guys in there. This movie's directed by David Zucker, written by Pat Proft, who wrote a lot of those things, and another individual who actually went on to write A Hangover 2 and Hangover 3. So take that with a grain of salt, if you will. But that's also why you notice that, starting with Scary Movie 3, you still have Anna Faris, who was in all of the other movies. In the original movies, they actually had her dye her hair black, because they wanted her to be kind of a false Neve Campbell. By this movie, she has her natural blonde hair, because it's like there's really no connection to the original Scary Movie Scream franchise anymore. So she's just a different character. But they also brought in kind of those people who'd worked on those old movies. They brought in Leslie Nielsen, obviously, from Naked Gun. They brought in Charlie Sheen from the Hot Shots movies. And it was much more kind of an Airplane kind of wackiness kind of things, where it wasn't just a lot of scatological humor, okay? They still have a little bit of that, but it's much more kind of just wacky, falling on a banana peel kind of comedy, which I like. You know what I'm saying? They brought in Anthony Anderson, who's a comedian, who's been in quite a few things, to play Simon Rex's buddy. He's basically playing the Mekhi Phifer role from 8 Mile, and so he has a big old long fake dreadlocks. And he screen tested so well that they actually went and started writing additional scenes for him. And Kevin Hart was in this as well, another comedian. This is like one of his first things. He was just supposed to be kind of in a couple scenes, or kind of basically a glorified extra. But he was so funny that they made his character bigger and better. So some of the 8 Mile stuff is some of the funniest stuff you'll see in the movie. Charlie Sheen doing Charlie Sheen things. I think it's hilarious. If you liked Airplane, if you liked Naked Gun, it's that kind of quality that we're looking for. And of course, I like scary movies to begin with, so this adds that kind of fun to it. And I appreciate it in a way that I didn't really like the first 2 scary movies. Interestingly enough, in the beginning of this movie, there's a kind of a making fun of The Ring, the opening scene of The Ring, where I had 2 schoolgirls talking about this video that they saw. They brought in Pamela Anderson and Jenny McCarthy to do kind of a similar scene as schoolgirls. That was hilarious. Jenny McCarthy was originally supposed to be in the original Scary Movie, way back when. she turned it down, okay, to be in Scary Movie, excuse me, she turned down Scary Movie 1 to be in Scream 3, okay? And now she's in Scary Movie 3. Bizarre coincidence? Perhaps? Could be? I don't know. So, there isn't a lot going on with this. Obviously, it spawned 2 more sequels. Anna Faris and Regina Hall are the only 2 actors who were in the first 4 Scary Movie roles. I enjoyed Scary Movie 3 so much that I went and watched Scary Movie 4. Not that good. Kind of not funny, if you catch my drift. I dragged my wife to see it. She was not pleased. There's one scene, just as a side note, there's one opening scene from Scary Movie 4 that was hilarious. It was like Shaq was chained up down in like a dungeon, kind of like from Saw. And there's like an evil voice, "I'm going to kill you." And he goes, "Kobe?" I thought that was kind of funny. Not in this movie, however. So don't go see Scary Movie 4. Don't go see Scary Movie 1 and 2. Just see Scary Movie 3. I haven't seen Scary Movie 5, but there's no Charlie Sheen, there's no Anna Faris. What are you going to do? It's a whole new ball game, okay? So, what else can I tell you about this movie? After the Wayans brothers left the project, they brought in a couple other writers who wanted to spoof the new Star Wars movies at that time. They wanted to spoof Lord of the Rings. They wanted to spoof Harry Potter and created some kind of weird... It's going to be called like Scary Movie 3 Episode 1, Legend of the Brooms, or Fellowship of something. I don't know. Needless to say, the studio was not thrilled with it, so they gave that the old heave-ho and brought in these other writers. They wanted to keep it kind of... in spite of all the 8 Mile and Matrix references, they wanted to keep it focused on scary movies. If you have the DVD, there's a lot of deleted scenes that they kind of they talk about how at one point at the end of the movie, one of the characters turns into the Hulk. I don't know why. It's not explained. There's supposed to be an extended like Matrix fight where it's all in slow motion where they're all got rid of all that stuff. There's still a little bit of the Matrix. There's one scene that's hilarious with George Carlin. It takes place in the famous lighthouse from The Ring, but once they go inside, it's like a guy from The Matrix. So it all kind of works out. At one point, they had Kevin Smith attached to write the sequel. He had different ideas. He went in a different direction. What are you going to do? Again, if you're going to watch any scary movie, this is the one to watch, in my opinion. It currently has a 36% rotten on Rotten Tomatoes. That is a shame. This movie was actually a box office success when it came out. It turned out to be a hit, which is why they wound up making 2 more sequels after this. So, what are you going to do? It made more than the second one, but not as much as the first. But what are you going to do? Huh? Next week, I'm moving away from the comedy genre to the action genre. Late 80s, vintage Arnold Schwarzenegger. We're doing The Running Man. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Richard Dawson, Yaphet Kotto. It's an all-star cast. Jesse the Body Ventura. Jim Brown, for goodness sake. So there you go. It is streaming instantly on Netflix, so rush out, check it out, let me know what you think. Send any favorite scenes, favorite quotes, questions, or comments to me, and I may just talk about it on the show. Maybe. You can also go to our page on Facebook, the Original B Movie Club. Give us a big thumbs up. Go to our page on YouTube and subscribe. It's totally free. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter at the B Movie Club. Don't forget to spread the word. As you know, I end every episode with a totally out of context quote. And here it is. My wife took her to the old family farm and drowned her in the well. I felt a simple timeout would have been sufficient. So there it is. That is Scary Movie 3. Next week, The Running Man. Thank you for joining us, and be well.